me. I'm back. It's Claire, your host. It's literally been a month, I think. I apologize. Also, this podcast itself was recorded like Valentine's Day weekend, I think. So that's how far off we are. Life got busy. Also, I say this every podcast, but I'm going to say it every podcast. These take 5 ever to edit, so I apologize. This is not a weekly podcast, at least not yet. But guess what? Today I have my friend Deanna. You may know her as the 10 out of 10. You may know her as the Utada, the OOTD, the outfit of the day. I did those all out of order. I apologize. Anyway, Deanna came, sat on my couch. We had so much fun. I'm so excited for you to hear this. And yeah, I think that's all I got. There's nothing else new. All right, have fun. Enjoy. Okay, cool. Okay, slay. I'm here with Deanna. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I love being in New York, so it's a good day for me.
I know you're here like I would say like half and half, right? Maybe
I'm
a
living
little bit more in LA than
I'm a bi-coastal queen actually. I've been more in New York than LA.
Really?
Yep. Every month I'm here for at least a week and a half. Here or Connecticut. My family also lives in Connecticut.
Oh, slay.
So I'm a bi-coastal queen. I'm back and forth. We're thriving, but like whenever I'm in New York, it's just
New York is like a different world.
Electrifying. It's the energy, it's the collab, it's the good love.
I'm like, how do I turn this lamp on? I just bought these.
I love it.
So cute.
They are cute.
Okay, so welcome to I'll Drink to That, the talk show that has literally no rhyme or reason. What is your drink of choice for today?
My drink of choice is the Charli D'Amelio drink of choice. Have you heard of this?
No.
2 years ago.
I mean, I know that it is. It's a Dunkin'.
You know it exists.
I know it's a Dunkin'.
It's a Dunkin'. Okay. She did a collaboration with Dunkin' and they named a drink after her, and it's the, I don't know, it's the Charli, and it's a cold brew with almond milk and caramel swirl. Actually, no, it's not almond milk. It's a cold brew with whole milk and a caramel swirl, and I am lactose intolerant, so I got cold brew with almond milk and caramel swirl, and it is the best drink. I've been drinking it for 2 years.
I think I tried it when it first came out because I was like, I have to know what this hype is. But
I'm
I'm not
obsessed.
a big Dunkin' fan.
No,
I know,
but you're on the East Coast.
I know.
It's okay. I understand.
If I'm going to like choose a place to get coffee here, it's gonna be Gregory's.
Absolutely. And that is a very classy answer. That is a very like Pearl Studio. Do you know what I'm
Isn't
saying?
it?
That is like an actor Pearl Studio. If you don't know Gregory's, what are you doing?
And if you're a New Yorker and you like Gregory's, I mean, like, not that
You
Pete's
audition.
doesn't exist other places, but like
No.
Pete's Coffee in Chicago, like if you like have a time in Chicago, like go to
Okay.
Pete's because it's
Yeah.
basically the same thing.
But you're like a coffee drinker. Like I don't drink coffee.
I drink coffee, but I'm not the person who needs coffee in the morning. You know what I
100%.
mean?
That's me too.
Like there will be days when I'm like, oh, it's 3 p. Literally today. This isn't even coffee. I'm drinking a matcha for those who are wondering. I made myself a whole matcha latte. Normally I'll be like, oh, it's 3 p.m. and now it's too late for me to
Have something.
really get coffee. And then I'll still go and get like an Americano somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll just like stop into like the smallest little
it.
coffee shop and I'm
I've
like, can I
never
get an iced
met-
Americano?
I've never met someone like this genuinely. Like I don't drink coffee. I wake up with an immense amount of energy. Like I'm a morning human being.
I am not a morning human being.
No.
But I am, well, I think I could be. Like I
Okay.
was when I actually woke up in the mornings.
Yeah.
But I don't usually need coffee to like, because caffeine, in my opinion, like for me, caffeine does not do anything. I actually would rather take a nap after having any kind of like coffee or anything.
So you're like a coffee at night girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that energy.
Like after dinner,
Very
you
Italian.
get
Very Italian. You're like, can I like cap this off with a cappuccino?
Can I get a cappuccino?
Very good.
Yeah. So that's what I do. That's
Yeah. I
I'm with coffee.
like it because of the community part of it. Like
Mhm.
a lot of my friends will be like, let's meet up for coffee quick. And I will always go and I will always order it. But I don't like the taste. I'll like maybe sip it unless it's a cold brew with caramel swirl. I could
Cold
sip
brews-
this all day. I'm a nurse.
Cold brew's a little different too.
It's a little different. But, you know, if I drink a whole one, which I'm close to on this, which is rare for me, I will get the jitters, which is why I'm also not a coffee. I think it's because I literally am wired to, like, probably my
Already,
bloodstream
yeah.
has caffeine in it. So if I drink a full coffee, I am literally bouncing.
Yeah.
So I'm a nurse.
I'll
sip it.
I like sip it mostly not because of that reason, but because I usually forget that I have a beverage. So it just sits there.
Yep.
And then all my friends make fun of me because I can't get a hot drink. I can't get a cold drink either because like it's better for me to get an iced drink because I will like drink it faster because I'm like I don't want it to get watered down.
Same.
However, with a hot drink, like this is a warmer. This is a mug warmer.
It keeps it warm. I've never even seen this in my life.
And it keeps it warm the whole time. And you press it. I'm not gonna like do it, but you press it. The little button comes on and it warms up. And it's got a little button on the bottom, so it's not on all the time. So anytime I have a little right there,
a beverageino, you can warm it. Wait, I'm gonna get that. My boyfriend Chase, if you're listening to this, we need this because he's always telling me like I'm just like leaving cups around the house because I have the same thing. I've never met anyone like this. Please send me the link to that.
I will.
I'm gonna buy.
I will.
I'm not even kidding.
It's literally my favorite thing. I got
obsessed.
one because of COVID school.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be sitting. Everything was on Zoom.
Right.
I didn't do anything. So I was sitting, but that also meant I was sitting and forgetting that I had coffee.
That's
that
what
I
it
made
was.
at 9 a.m. in the morning. And then I would have to get up to go microwave it every 30 minutes because then it was just like this lukewarm like coffee. And I was like, let me get this for myself. It's great for soup too. If you're like,
if you are listening and you are a nurser like we are, like you nurse your drinks, you need this coffee warmer. And is that also a candle warmer? Like, could you put a candle on there?
Yeah.
Get this. We're going to put the link right here in the podcast. You need.
I think they like market it as like a candle coffee.
We're reaching out to them. They're sponsoring this episode. They don't even know
it's called a Smart Warm Coaster.
Okay, a Smart Warm Coaster.
I don't know. It was like $15 on Amazon.
Okay, I can't wait to get it.
I got it. And it's been sitting there, and all my mugs like are hanging.
Oh my god! Give me Wicked or give me Death. I don't know if you all know. Have they seen this mug collection?
No,
okay, let me talk you through it. She's got Wicked just hanging straight on the end. She knows where she belongs.
Yeah.
Dream Roll and Wicked, go. Dream Roll. You could be anyone.
Like right now. Oh, right now. Dream Roll would be Elphaba.
Period.
But like logistically, it'd be NASA.
NASA, hey NASA.
Yeah.
I've got.
I would love to play NASA. Yeah. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah. It does. I've got something to confess. Don't get me started. I'll keep going. I love musicals, and I learned today that Claire doesn't.
People know this. Actually, what's funny is this. So this podcast is called I'll Drink to That, right? Which is a Company reference.
Oh, love it.
I have seen Company once in my lifetime. I saw the revival with Patty.
Of course.
Well, Patty actually was not in the night that I went.
Oh my god.
I know. Patty was not in. She was sick. But I get people on here and it'll like happen at some point. But we'll talk about something Sondheim because we have to like kind of make it musical theater based.
Okay.
And I don't know anything else on them. I have that book, Finishing the Hat, which Tyler pointed out last episode.
These are like little gems you have around. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you come to Claire's house and there's like a giant Wicked flag. Like, it's like a little gem, like a mug of Wicked there, Finishing the Hat here. Like, this is like.
It's the most random thing. Comedy of Errors is right there.
Of course.
Okay. Shakespeare.
So you are, exactly. That's perfect
I'm a
for this.
low-key musical theater person.
She's giving low key. That makes perfect sense for this podcast too. It's like, I'll drink to that. Also, like, sprinkle it here, sprinkle it there. We can just like chat.
My friends were like, you should do drinking games. And I was like, with coffee? That would be so weird though. Because normally if it's like past like 4 or 5, I'm like, let's open a bottle of wine or something. Yeah. But sometimes I'll do these at like 10 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, we're not drinking bourbon at 10 a.m.
No, you're not taking shots back.
It's not happening.
No. I'm with you.
Anyway, so this is just like the chillest thing that I could think of. Also, that's a lot of prep work for me to come up with like games.
100%. 100%.
No. Anyway, yeah, we have Wicked up there, and then there's the Agony Into the Woods mug that they sold at this thing, and then I have Friends because
we love a good Friends.
I love Friends.
Have you seen all of Friends?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's so many better shows out there than Friends. And
I'm sure.
That's my like background.
I feel no type of way about Friends. Like, I like it. I feel literally nothing. But my roommate back in the day, it was her comfort show. So because it was her comfort show, it was on our TV just like all the time. Like, while I was making breakfast, it was on. I didn't mind it. I never sat down and like really watched it, but it was always on. So I could tell you every single thing that happened. But like,
right,
you know, that's how I feel.
My favorite thing with Friends is because I do this with a lot of shows, especially like shows like Frasier or Seinfeld, or also shows because there are just so many seasons. I just turn it on.
Love it.
And so then when I go and rewatch them, I'm like, I don't remember this happening at all, and it's because I wasn't paying at all. Like I wasn't paying attention because I'm like doing homework or I'm cooking.
Like, okay, these people are together now, and these are yeah, I like that.
But like there are hours that I've like missed because it just plays. They're just 30 minutes long.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, you're cleaning and packing, and
the
you're
next
like,
thing you know, you're on the Easter episode, and the next thing you know, it's like the Christmas armadillos coming out, and you're like,
oh, what? Back it up.
I missed a whole season here. But my recent go-to has been Abbott Elementary.
Yes, we were talking about this.
Yeah, but there's only 2 seasons, and it's not even finished with the second season, so it's a lot of like.
It's a lot.
It's a much shorter.
You're almost like through. Line for line. You could almost
at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
But they started back their episodes.
I am a Grays. I'm a Grays queen. I love Grey's Anatomy. Oh my god.
Do you know Annalise Scarpacci?
Yes.
She's a huge Grays fan.
Oh, really?
She's the one who got me to watch it.
Oh, she's a queen.
We were
you know what?
About
we did a concert together, and she was one of those people. She was just like so nice and genuinely honest. You know, like you could have like a real conversation with her. And I was like, oh my god, you're awesome. And this was while she was in the show
for Doubtfire.
She was in Doubtfire when we met and did the concert, and I didn't know that. And we were just like genuinely talking. You know what I mean? It was one of those conversations where it's like, oh, you're not expecting anything from me. I'm not expecting anything from you. We're just being honest, good people. She's a good one. You could tell when they're good.
We've only met in person at like 54 Below shows. And it's just like, hey. And then we're like running off to go see our respective people.
Right.
But I DM her about Grays because I'm doing my first watch through. So she knows exactly like where I am when I say words.
When I say words, I'm dead. When I say words,
I'm in the middle of season 8.
Oh, okay. Yes, you did tell me this. Yes.
Couldn't tell you what happened last because it's been at least 2 weeks since I watched.
It's time to go back.
I know. Well, I took if you haven't seen Grays and you don't want spoilers, then don't listen to this part. It took me like a hot second to get past George.
Understandably so.
And then, I guess that wasn't really a spoiler. You don't know what happened. But it took me a second to get past George. And then Izzy, like, is the most annoying person ever in my brain. I can't stand Izzy.
Oh my god, Claire, how do you deal with me? Because I am Izzy.
No, you're not.
I am Izzy.
You are so much better than Izzy. I can't stand Izzy. Like, towards the end there, I just can't.
You know what? I'm sorry to all the Izzy fans. I am, but I'm also not. I don't like her. She is not my favorite. She's never been my favorite. I always get really annoyed when she's on the screen. And I remember getting really annoyed when I kept seeing her in the credits, in the opening credits. But then she was never on the episode, so I don't know. Anyway, sorry Grays fans. Sorry Izzy fans.
And where are you at? Is this Duquette? Are you with Duquette?
No.
That's not a spoiler. Duquette is a thing.
No.
Okay.
Hunt is there, and...
Oh, Hunt has arrived. Welcome,
yeah, Hunt has been there.
Okay.
And
I don't want to go too Grey's niche on you all, so I won't go deep into it. But like the main characters, Izzy, Meredith, Christina. George, and like those are like in each friend group. Everyone's like, which one are you? Yeah. Every friend group, you're like, who's who? I'm always Izzy. So I was just like, I'm prying her on this because I'm like, oh my god, you don't like my character. And me and my best friend are Meredith and Christina. I'm the Meredith, she's Christina. Easy. Like, easy.
I could see that. Christina's my favorite.
Oh, she's the best.
She's my favorite.
She is the best character.
And then or I guess she's my favorite like from like the start. And then Callie is another favorite of mine.
Oh, yep. Wow, I'm gonna watch it again when I go home.
I'm not the biggest fan of Arizona because I liked Erica.
I can't.
That's not her name. What's her name? What's her character's name? Erica's not her name. That's the actress's name, I think. Her Callie's first girlfriend.
Callie's first girlfriend is Erica.
Oh, is that her name?
I believe the character's name is Erica, I believe.
Oh.
And then comes Arizona. Mm-hmm. I felt the exact same way that you did. I felt the exact same way as you did. And then as she's on the show, I literally came to love her. So I wonder what's going to happen with your storyline.
I know. I love Callie.
To hear.
And then so the most recent episode that I watched, I just remember now. This is a spoiler. Meredith and what's his name?
McDreamy.
Yeah, McDreamy.
Yeah.
They have Zola now. So they have Zola, and we just got past the one that like blew my mind, where they just wrote the opposites for every character. It's like Meredith and Karev are together, and like Christina and Meredith hate each other.
Oh,
it's that episode, and it's
where you're like, everything feels weird. The universe is off shift. I don't like it.
It's called What If, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But it's like all of the characters that you know, but like Ellis Gray is still there, and the chief is like they're married.
Yeah. What could have been.
Yeah, yeah.
What a juicy episode.
And then the end, it's like Meredith and Christina obviously like find each other, and then Meredith and
because it
find
happens
each
how
other.
it was supposed to happen no matter what.
Mhm.
That reminds me of the rom-com that came out with Lily Reinhart, Look Both Ways, or
Oh yeah,
is it called Look Both Ways?
I don't know. I never watched it, but I've heard of.
It's something similar along the plot line of like she takes two different courses of life. Like she goes through life, and then it's like, okay, she could go to college, or she ends up getting pregnant.
Yeah,
And then they show you both timelines, and not like, all right, this is a spoiler, but like it's the kind of thing of like fate will make what's supposed to happen for you happen.
Did you
for
see it then?
I never saw If Then.
That's literally the storyline of If Then.
It's exactly. There we
Okay,
go. It's
If
If Then, and a movie is Look Both Ways.
Yeah, because well, I mean, I guess there's another movie that's Sliding Mirrors or something like that. It's pretty much the same kind of idea.
Okay.
But it's like, what if you do this and what if you do that?
Yeah.
But If Then, do you know anything about If Then? Do you know what it's about?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what I know about If Then is Anthony Rapp and Idina Menzel are in it.
Correct.
That's what I know. And one time, Anthony Rapp after the show picked me up and drove me to Boston because we were in a concert together. And I literally had to meet him at backstage and with a van. I was in a big white van with the rest of the cast, and literally we had to wait outside because then he ran from the stage door, hopped in, got in the driver's seat, and drove us to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I know of If Then.
he's like lovely.
Oh,
first
he's
off.
beautiful.
You met him last night.
Yeah, I did a show with him 8 years ago. 8 years ago we did a show. Crazy. He produced Rent, and we went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yes.
And he was our producer of the show. I was in the ensemble. I was the dance captain. I played Alexi Darling. That was my role. I understudied Mimi. Never went on. It was the Edinburgh Fringe. So you're only there for like a month in August.
Yeah, it's not long.
Yeah. And so we like were through the entire rehearsal process together. We did a lot of concerts during that time, like in promo for the Fringe Festival. Like we were at Joe's Pub. We performed in Boston. And then like he came to my birthday party after the show. After the show closed, like I loved everyone in that cast. It's Rent. You know Rent.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's family, it's love. Like you love these people like your own. It's not like you come in, you show up for a job, you go home. It's not that. It's you're connected to these people. So a year later, me, him, and who he was with at the time, we went to go and see Idina Menzel concert in Long Island. He picked me up. He drove me to Long Island. We went to see the Idina Menzel concert, and then after we met her, and I was like beaming proud. And it's like they're longtime friends.
Of course, yeah.
They're not excited to see each other. I mean, they're excited to see each other,
They're
but like
like,
they're not like They're like, oh, good show. I'm like, you're amazing. Let it go. Let it go.
That was me. I somehow got like someone. It was on the days. It was my era of time when it was like normal for one to have a fan page because you're 13.
Of course, it's still normal now.
Well, it is normal now, but like you know what I mean. Like adults judge you anyway. But I had a Idina Menzel fan page, and I had one on Twitter. It was like Twitter and Instagram, and I just like posted Idina Menzel shit. And I get a DM. I'm at a concert in Raleigh, Charlotte, somewhere.
Okay.
Durham. I don't know. Anyway, I get a DM I'm with my best friend. I get a DM from someone. He goes, I have 2 extra wristbands, or I have 1 extra wristband to go backstage. Do you want it?
Yes,
and
100%.
I was like,
can't wait. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they won like the radio thing, where they're like caller number 7 gets 2, whatever. Anyway, so I ended up getting to go backstage. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
I ended up getting to go backstage and meeting her, and then it was so funny because we only had 1 wristband, but I was with my best friend. And we were talking to the security, and I was like, is there a place my friend can just wait? We were like not even going to try to get her in. We were just like, is there a place that she can wait that's like not ooky spooky by the dumpsters, or like can she stay with you, or like whatever? And he literally ooky spooky, and he was like, just so she got to meet her too. It was so fun. And that's
was she drinking her hot tea, and was she on vocal rest? Because that's how I met her.
No. I mean, she definitely was not saying actual words.
I know, but because she's singing her lungs out. Like, this is no hate to her at all, but like when I saw her, she was vocal resting.
Yeah.
Like she was walking around with Honey and was like, like,
oh my
so
gosh, that's
nice
so
to meet
funny.
you.
I think when I met her, I did the thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for so long, and da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, oh, thank you so much.
Right. She's got to preserve. You know what I
And
mean?
that was it.
Exactly.
But we also met.
But I don't think it's personal. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely
I don't think
not.
it's at all.
No,
I think it's
no.
because she's literally singing every ounce of her vocal cords
Well, and
every
that's a
night at the time.
It's a long concert too. She
It's
has
a
long concerts.
She's given a show. I was amazed she was doing meet and greets. I was like, I would be asleep,
Right?
girlfriend, dead.
But I met Anthony through If Then. I'm going to say through If Then.
Mm-hmm.
We did an interview
Mm-hmm.
when he was in Raleigh
Mm-hmm.
for the tour. This was afterwards. But we had also met here in New York. And that was it. I spent like an hour with him.
Yeah.
And he was so sweet.
So sweet. Really
I bring
beautiful.
I have Without You. So we just, for the listeners, we
Yes.
just saw Without You, which is running till
April 30th right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah, April 30th at New World Stages.
That's right.
And it's basically, if you've not read the book, it's like excerpts of his book, his memoir, Without You,
Mm-hmm.
along with rap music and some of his own original music that helps tell the storyline. And it's a beautiful show.
I cried the entire time. I'm a Rent head. I've been watching it since the movie came out. The movie came out and then it opened all my eyes and doors to everything. I watched it 3 million times with every single one of my friends. Me and my best friend, Elissa, like literally sang it on coffee tables. Like, who did it? Who wasn't doing
we did
that?
too. And it was funny is the first time I saw Rent was because my parents, I think, rented it like at Blockbuster or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like literally 6 or 7 when I saw Rent for the first time. And I was
yeah.
like, what does this mean?
Exactly.
During Laughable Women,
We
I'm like,
had
I don't
no
know what any
idea.
of that is.
Yeah, no, I was singing it. The bada Buddha baby.
Yeah.
I didn't even care. I was like, this is just freedom, you know?
Yeah.
I knew the breath of the song was freedom, and I was like, me too. I relate.
And then I finally saw the musical in high school. I saw the tour.
Yeah.
The first, like, the 20th,
Yeah.
I think. And that
So
was
good.
fun.
So fun. I've seen my best friend Coleman was Roger for the past 2.5 years on the Rent tour, the 25th anniversary tour. So I've seen him in it multiple times, and then it just adds another layer. Like, I did Rent with Anthony Rapp 8 years ago. Then I'm seeing my best friend, who I consider family. My best friends are my family, is in the show living his absolute dream role as Roger. It was something else. It was Rent is just magic.
I
want
want
to
to
have Anthony like go through his experience.
I know his experience is rough.
Oh my god! Like, and so after the show, I got to talk to him, and we like had me, him, and my best friend and my boyfriend were all like sitting on stage, just like going through what we just experienced. Like, he's giving his raw emotions on having lost a friend who wrote the show that spiraled his career. And it's like he had to relive that trauma of losing a friend on top of trauma in his own life going on.
I know. That's what I was the whole entire time I was sitting there. I was like,
oh my god.
You don't see theater like this, because no one, especially if it's your own stuff, like no one ever wants to like, it was just like
Every
that
night?
was just wild to me.
Every night he's giving his raw, like exactly what you texted me, the line about his heart not just breaking but breaking open.
Yeah. That was the line that like spiraled through my head the whole rest of the show after he said it, because it was Sai who said that. I think because he's calling Sai about it.
Was Michael Greif?
Is it Michael?
But it could have been Sai. It was Sai.
Sai's the Friends in what is it? Friends Indeed?
Friends Indeed. Was it?
I think so. It was after his mom passed.
Yeah.
And he called Sai.
Maybe it was Sai, because he was just calling to be like, I can't come. Like, I need my understudy has to go on.
Oh,
and
maybe it is Michael.
I just assumed it was Michael, but still,
it was one of the two.
Yes.
Either way,
one of the two. They racked our brains.
Yeah, and he said that his heart was breaking, and whoever it was said, no, your heart isn't breaking, it's breaking open.
Yeah.
And then they said something along the effect of like, this isn't something that you have to go through it. It's not something you can go around. And I literally was like, whoa.
Oh my god.
That was like the one part that caught me. And now I have the book. It's like literally in there.
Yeah.
I like want to go and try and find that.
I know.
Try and find that little quote, because I know it's all from But anyway, that show is a wonderful show, and if you want to see it, you should totally go see it. I know
Yeah.
it's on TDF if you're a TDF subscriber.
Yes.
That's how I got my
Until
ticket.
April 30th, you 100% should go.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And if you have lost someone or experienced loss and like are grieving, it's so 100% going to be triggering. 100%
yeah.
going to be triggering. But the way he's so raw and vulnerable with it can help you like find ways to express yourself through it. I think it's so important.
He
So
walks through the emotions like so beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got there like on the hour. And
Yeah,
of course
you
it didn't
said
start for another like
boom.
8 minutes.
Yep.
But I got there on the hour. So I didn't even notice the walls
Yeah.
on the side, which are like a little nod to the rent wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of the stuff because I was running out. But it's really cool if you go before and after the show. You can write whatever you want. I think most people probably do it after, just to say like how much they love the show. I saw a few like Rent lyrics on the wall, and I saw a few dedications too. Like some people were like for so and so, and I was like, that's really pretty.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun little show. 5-piece rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Super
And they're awesome.
intimate.
And his voice is just as I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
What a star.
Yeah.
I didn't bring that up when we were talking to him because it wasn't in my mind. I was still crying. But his voice,
It's so good.
it's
sounds
so
the
good.
exact
He's
same.
giving, we're dying in America, like belting to the high heavens, just as he did. Literally straight off the recording.
And when he first starts singing, because he starts it at the show. Well, he talks and then he says, I have the first line. And then he starts singing Rent, basically.
oh, yeah.
Like the opening number. And my brain literally was like, I never thought I would experience hearing Anthony Rapp sing Rent. Like, that's so
Literally.
live.
And
like,
the theater itself is so intimate. Like, he's within
so
arm's
small.
reach. You know what I'm saying?
well, he was choosing, like, I was watching, and I was, like, row F, like, right smack dab in the center.
Mhm.
Like, I had a great
Same.
seat.
I was in the middle, too.
I was, like, right in the middle. And I was watching, and, like, he can definitely see everyone's faces because
For
it's so small. And it was so interesting when he would be like kind of at the edge of the stage and he was talking about his mom and going back and forth in that conversation. And it literally looked like he was talking to whoever was sitting right there. And I am someone who would have been very uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I know people do that. And the person I think was a little uncomfortable because they were not making eye contact with Anthony. But they were like,
Anyways.
because he's like sobbing. He's like, I don't want you to die. And it's like,
oh, my God.
I'm just here to see a show. But it was so interesting because there was one point when he spoke straight center, and I was like, you're looking at me.
Yeah. wild.
But yeah, but he's wonderful.
Yep. Wonderful. Gotta see the show.
Anyway, speaking of, that's how we got on the Anthony
Oh, yeah.
app.
If
If Then is about a woman named Elizabeth, and there are two paths that she can take. She moves to New York from Arizona.
Okay.
She's just had a divorce with her 10-year-old with her 10-year
Scary.
10-year marriage.
Yeah.
And she moves back to the city, and she has the choice of going with her friend Mark.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Mark. That's his name. That's Anthony's name.
That's Anthony's rent name. That's very
What's his name? Lucas is his name.
Okay.
Going with him and doing that kind of thing, and that's where they meet Jen Colella, and that's where she meets Jen's character and LaChance's character. Or she has another world where she goes with James Snyder's character, who's just come back from the army on his like second deployment, and they meet in Central Park, and he has the swiftest line, and he goes, I don't know why, but I feel like I know you. And one of her lines is, okay, and the rest is she's kind of like allowing the conversation to happen.
Uh-huh.
And one of the times he gets to give her his phone number, or he gets his phone number or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other one, he goes to speak to her, and Lucas comes in, and he's like, never mind. And so they never meet. There's no world in really which they meet, but you watch both of them. And so the way they did it on stage, Michael Greif also directed this, I'm pretty sure.
There we go.
The way they did it on stage is like, she chose very early on when she was in this universe, her name was Liz. She's going with Liz. It's more fun. It's sexier, whatever. The other one is more businessy. She goes by Beth, and she works for the city in development and stuff like that. And Beth wears glasses, I believe, and has a different colored blazer. and then Liz doesn't wear glasses and wears a different colored blazer. And so the choreography is them like taking the glasses off and then going into the next scene, and then she gets like another blazer and it goes on and stuff like that. But that's the whole entire thing. And then at the end of the show, you're kind of left with, okay, well, one, who did she choose? Like, which world did she choose? But they kind of just like mold both of them together.
Yeah.
And she has the friends from this world, and she meets James's character again for the first time in this other world, and then like all comes together. So that's the story of If Then. I'm a huge If Then fan.
I love that.
But it's a wonderful show, and it's like, especially if you're someone who like asks the what ifs a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a crazy show to watch.
Right. And just like a reminder, like there are so many stories like this where it's like fate does figure it out for you, you know, like the universe puts it in your path, whatever you believe, universe, God, like it, whatever it is, what's meant for you is meant for you. Yeah. It's going to find you no matter what path you take. So don't get hung up on the what ifs.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, love it.
It's lovely. Anyway, so you're here for work, basically, essentially.
Yes. I actually got flown out. Chase and I both got flown out here to see if we wanted to star in this musical. And
is Chase a musical person?
He is a videographer, photographer.
Oh, okay.
But the email was specific that it was me and Chase. And it was like, what a dream. It was like, hi, Deanna. Like, I would love for you to star in this musical I'm producing with Virgin Voyages. Mm-hmm. I would love to fly you and Chase out to New York to see the workshop to see if you want to do it. Like, if you have any interest, if you like the role. I was like, what an opportunity. Like, of course we would love to come to New York. My whole family is here. So I was like, if anything, it's a trip to New York. And I would love to, like, see the show. Like, can't wait to see what it's like. We come. The show was actually yesterday afternoon, and we saw it, and it was very good. Now, I wouldn't be starring in the show. It's like a guest and slot in a show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, honestly, I learned a lot of information on it. It'd be Virgin Voyages, and the spirit of the show is like sexy 1920s, like singing for your life. Like, love it. But it was just like a very cool opportunity. Like, that's never happened to me before, being literally like, they just said, do you want to run this entire thing? Like, we're going to literally make it 100% possible for you to come and do this. Do you want to? I was like, oh my, this is amazing. This is like, you just offered me this like huge thing that I never could have even dreamed. And I just get to go and say if I want to do it. What? I don't even have to. It was wild. This week has been wild, but that is why I'm here. And then once I said to the universe and like put it on my stories and like talked about how I'm coming to New York, all of these things started falling into place. Like, Times Square reached out to me and was like, will you host an event in Times Square to promote this art installation that we're doing? And I was like, of course I would do that, as long as I, you know, like, and then it just started falling. And then while I was in Times Square, I met you physically, like in human life. And I was like, oh my God, Claire, like, we vibe so hard. Like, we have to do a project together. And then literally I did a podcast when I was in LA, like a rom-com podcast,
like the story, like a scripted podcast.
It was a scripted podcast while I was in LA months ago, and I hosted their award show, which comes out this Monday. And I'm literally hosting the event in Times Square, and I turn to my right, and the people who hired me to do that podcast are standing right there doing interviews with people in Times Square. I was like, what are you doing? They were like, this is complete fate that we are now connected. Like, now we're doing promo for the show that comes out Monday, and they asked me to do more interviews, and they hired me for another gig to do more interviews with people in Times Square. I was like, the universe sets it up for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta speak
right place,
what you want.
Right time.
Right place, right time. Always saying yes and, which you are so good at. Like, you're always saying yes. You're always getting out of your comfort zone. Like, you're always asking people like to connect, which is why when you were like, do you want to just do a podcast? I was like, yes, let's go for it.
The question that I get the most from like friends and just literally any fan. Not of my, well, I guess they could. I apparently have fans, which is really weird.
Of course, you have fans.
People are literally like, how do you do the whole networking thing? And I'm like, you literally just ask them.
That's it. It's so hard though. It's so hard for people.
It's so hard to get. Like, I used to have a script. I used to be like, hi, I'm Claire, like in person. This is also my email script. I'd be like, hi, I'm Claire McConnell from the Broadway vlogs, and I have this YouTube channel where I interview people and da-da-da-da, and I would love to have you on the show. And I would like explain to them what it was and stuff like that. It was so businessy.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten to the point where like I like bought a ticket to go see this thing. It was the Broadway Green Alliance with Seth Rudetsky and the not Broadway Sessions. That's the incorrect thing. What is it? Stars in the House.
Okay.
Concert at Green Room 42. I was like, I'm going because it's Anika Larson, it's Jesse Mueller, it's Shamar Green, it's like all of these amazing humans. And I had just worked. I like ran from Sam Polly's concert because I was photographing that, and then I got there. And I was like, oh, right, Jessie is here. I've already met Anika. We've already done an interview, her and I. So I spoke with Anika for a little bit. And then Jessie came out as I was leaving. And I was like, hey, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of yours. And da-da-da-da. And I was like, I use your arrangement of Every Night at 7 for my, like, general auditions. And she was like, oh, my gosh, how's that going for you?
She's like, you booking? Yeah.
I was like, is it working for you? And I was like, I've been told by multiple people that's the only song I'm ever allowed to sing.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, SJB told me that. And she was like, that's a very high honor from Stephanie J. Block. And I was like, yeah. Also, I have a podcast, and I would love for you to be on it if you're ever interested. And she's like, yeah, let me give you my agent's email. And I was like, work.
Period.
And that was what it was.
That's it. But you're so good at that.
It's been since 2014. So it's been
You've been
many
taking practice,
year.
but like even that, like for your listeners, like get out there, like start with a script, like look where you're at now, like you have the confidence to like just reach out, and it's been so successful for you. Like that's what you gotta do. You gotta put yourself out there. That's
and
it.
you've done really well with that too.
Oh my god!
Like watching you on social media is wild because
it's wild.
Knew you.
I feel like I've known you from the beginning.
I knew you when you had like not that many. It was you were a small creator at that point. You were just doing like
100%.
Joke stuff.
100%.
I think it was even before really like 10 out of 10 was a thing.
It was 100%. Because my
it was totally before then.
It was for sure.
Also, if you haven't tracked that Deanna is the 10 out of 10 girl on TikTok.
I'm the 10 out of 10 girl. That's me. I'm Tiana. I'm a professional. I'm a professional hype woman. Like I literally get paid to hype people up at this point, and it's the easiest job because that's what I do every day. But that's so great. Literally, I remember like Claire would pop up you would comment on my videos from the jump. So I feel like I've known you because I view social media as like if you're commenting, like I see you as a friend. Like it's so hard. I have no like line. I'm like, oh my God, I know this person. Like we're definitely friends because when I make comments on people's things, I mean them with my whole heart. If I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I love you.
I don't usually like comment because it's just like not something like if I comment on your post, we either already know each other or I think you're insanely talented or like I legitimately was like, this is funny.
Yeah.
Like like the most you get from me is like a like. And I'll share it with my friends. But I don't usually comment because...
Wait, that's a whole other topic.
What?
Because I like actively comment and like every single thing I see if I love it. Like if I genuinely like it, I make a point to like really comment. And I have noticed it has brought so many opportunities. And I don't do it for the opportunities, but I've noticed that's why. Because people start to notice you're supporting them, you're showing up. And that's what I would say about you. I immediately felt, oh, she's genuine. She's giving me support. Like she's a friend. It goes further. So when you see something you like and you comment supporting it, like you don't know what could come from it.
Right.
Like it could be huge.
And what I love is like, I am someone who I'm a visual person, right?
For sure.
And so the way TikTok has it, I enjoy because you can see the profile pictures and they don't clump it together until after you've like refreshed it again.
Yeah.
So what I love is seeing people and I'm like, I know your profile picture and I know your profile picture and da-da-da-da. Like I know all of these. Please.
I know it's the beeping for me. Please.
They agree. I love being able to see that. And like, I don't tell people that I notice that they've been following me for a while. Like if someone DMs me and they're like, I've been following you for a while, in my brain I'm like, yes, I know.
You're like, I know, I recognize you.
I know your profile
you're
picture.
A friend. Yeah.
But like oh my gosh. It's not even rush hour. It's 2:30.
It's the beep.
I love going through my TikTok and just like scrolling just to see me too.
I love it. It feels like a community. And to me, I think because when I'm making the videos, I'm being 100% myself and 100% honest. So when I see those comments, I take it as 100% themselves, 100% honest, and I consider them friends. I'm like, oh, that's community. That's my friends. Those are my supporters. Like, let's collab. Let's work. So anyways, all that to say, I think commenting is so important. I think reaching out to the people you love are so important. The people you admire are so important. Like, because you never know. Opportunities are literally everywhere. You just have to say yes and take a chance. That's it. And everyone listening, you can do it too and reach out, but it takes time and it takes courage. Like it's a big deal. People don't do that as much. My boyfriend always says this with completely different realm of things. The NFL players, he will reach out to them and be like, I am a photographer, videographer. Like, I know you're on your off season. I can film for you. Like, let's collab. He's made like his very good close friends on Instagram are all MLB players, NFL, because he's doing the work. He puts out good energy, and then when they collab together, some of them hit it off, some of them don't. But then that's how you make those big
That's what
connections.
I'm doing with photography stuff. I just DM people and I'm like, hey,
that's
I'm a photographer. I'm new to the city.
What's the worst they say? I'm all good. Great. All right. On to the next.
I just recently, okay, so if you're an avid Elementary fan, you know who Lisa Ann Walters. Or if you're like a big, if you're a Parent Trap person, she played Chessie. In the Parent Trap. She's also in Bruce Almighty. She's done a lot of things.
We love her.
We love Lisa Ann Walter. And she's very, very active on the social medias.
That's what we like to see.
And there was one day, I think it was so random. I like swiped up on her thing or something like that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Also, I'm a huge fan of yours, and da-da-da-da. And she responded.
There we go.
And I was like, and so now every now and then I'll like swipe up and I'll say something and she will like respond.
Yeah.
And I have sent her a DM and I was like, hey, I do this podcast and I would love to have you on. And she read it and didn't respond. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, if you know me, if you follow me on social media, you know that I am in my Lisa Ann Walter era. I love her. She's such a wonderful actress. I was in my Catherine Hahn era a little bit ago. Still kind of in that. So excited for Tiny Beautiful Things. Is that what it's called? That's going to be on Hulu? I don't know. That comes out in April. But we chat a little bit about this, like, even more, just because we keep agreeing with each other. So I cut some of this out, but just send the DM, besties. What's the little Nike? Like, insert Nike check. Just do it. All right.
See, another opportunity, another thing that she is proving again. You just have to reach out. That's it.
Also, people...
And supportive. They can tell when you're being supportive, genuinely. Yeah. Not like using someone. You're not like, you didn't reach out to her to be like, okay, if I say this, I'm going to get her on our podcast.
Right.
You reached out in a genuine place. Like, oh, I like her. Like, I really like her work. I like what she's doing. And you were just saying that. And it led to more. That's it. That's all it is.
Just shoot them a DM.
That's it. A DM, comments I read more than my requests, because truly, like in my Instagram, my request inbox, it's just too much. It's just too much every day.
I have a lot of bots.
You have a lot of bots.
I do.
See, that would be, you can't really get through it.
Like, I get a lot of bots, and I get people who are asking for like bow photos and stuff.
Because sometimes, DMs, I used to spend 3 hours going through all my requests, but then they still come in more. But that's 3 hours. And then I one day was like, I can't keep doing this. But if someone comments on a photo, I'm going to see it 100%.
Right.
So that's another way. If you're like, oh, they're not seeing a DM,
TikTok,
try a comment. Try a story reply. Just keep going. If you love them.
Oh, yeah. You know? I don't have any notifications on for TikTok except for tags and comments. So if you comment on my post, I will get a notification for it. If you like it, I don't.
Right.
Same with Instagram. I don't have my likes on, but if you comment or message me, I get that notification.
Okay.
Those
I have both off. I have both.
You get a lot more than I do, though.
Just like a notification, just because it was really just time consuming.
Yeah.
I started timing every day. I was like, how much time am I dedicating to like answering to these notifications? And it was like over 5 hours. I was like, I need a break. I need to not do that. I need to, like, when I go onto my TikTok, I will check all the comments, like see what's going on, reply to who I can, but I don't spend the 5 hours anymore.
TikTok, I think you can do this with Instagram, but you can turn on the notification where it's like if someone comments, but the only notification you get is if you are mutuals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Filtered.
I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
I could have made that up. If it's not a thing, then it should be a thing.
It should be. Who can we call?
Who do we call? But,
Yeah, that's how I am with social media. Just
Yeah.
because I'm on social media a lot. Like I'm the doom scroller. Like I scroll on TikTok.
Me too. I love a scroll.
But I also am the one who's like, I don't really know what's going on
Yeah.
any of these platforms. People will be like, do you know about this trend? And I'm like, no.
But like, no, I don't know the trend. My FYP is dogs.
Literally. My For You page is like the most random thing recently.
Ew, I
Because
love
I've
it.
been in DC.
What is it? That's
like-
such a fun game. What's your
is
For
my
You
For You
page?
page?
Quick.
Actually, my favorite thing is being with my friends who aren't theater people.
Oh, okay.
Because their TikToks are so...
Just got here this
Tataria.
morning. Oh my god, what a literal angel. I already saw that video, so.
I do have a lot of like... I do
want
have
ours to
a
be
lot
the
of...
exact same. Like, I want to have seen all of the things that you just showed me. I'm going to look right now.
I do have a lot of like...
Oh, not me in the swears. Okay, no. Mine's all like get ready with me's and stuff for Fashion Week.
Oh, yeah. I don't have anything Fashion Week. I also get a lot of... Oh, there you are.
She made it. Guys, I made it onto the For You page. This is a huge deal. I don't know
Onto
if
the
that
For You
turned
page.
off.
What?
I don't know if you're...
Oh, no, it's just like asleep.
Oh, okay.
It's just doing the thing. It's still going, though. Do you follow?
Yes, I'm obsessed with him.
I love him. I love this
I am
content.
in love with him. He does like the Kim Kardashian
Mhm.
remakes, and they're
what is it?
hilarious.
Bromanizer.
Bromanizer.
That's the Instagram.
Bromanizer, I
or
am
the
a number one
TikTok that
fan.
we're-
Have been for 2 years. I love him so much. Can't wait for the day we would collab. And that is someone that I'm going to keep reaching out to. Don't you worry about that. Actually, I never have, and I do love him.
He's so funny.
He's so
His
funny.
content is so funny.
Yeah.
And it works.
Right? So I'm going to take the advice that we just talked about on this podcast, and I'm going to reach out to him and do a collab. That's what I'm going to do.
Boom.
There we go.
Okay, so I do have to actually ask about Sondheim. Anything Sondheim. Do you have like a
Anything Sondheim.
favorite
My
Sondheim
favorite,
at all?
my favorite musical is Company.
Okay.
I especially the remake of Company.
This
I
revival
loved
that just happened?
The revival. I loved it from a female perspective. A 35-year-old woman being single hits different than a 35-year-old man being single, and it
Mhm.
changed everything for me. I was like, this is my favorite musical. I love it so much. And it also hit me because I've been to over 300 cabarets where people would sing solo songs, and my favorites have always been Ladies Who Lunch, Not Getting Married, and I never knew where they were from. I never looked up where they were from. I just always remember leaving being like, oh, my favorite from this one was Ladies Who Lunch. My favorite from this cabaret was this. And then it was Being Alive. My favorite from this was this. And then when I went and saw Company, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's what they're all from.
I was like, this tracks, because every single one of these songs is my favorite cabaret style song, and seeing it with the through line and having the female lead, I was like, yeah, this is my favorite musical, 100%. So Sondheim deeply goes in there. And then Into the Woods, I played the witch when I was in 6th grade, and like we did like the junior version.
To see
I was iconic.
Deanna the Witch.
I was iconic. 6th grade Deanna like committed hard. I still commit hard to this day, but I was rocking this giant witch nose, and I was like pretending I was a mother to my friend who was literally 2 feet taller than me at the time, but she was my Rapunzel, and I was like, hey, my Rapunzel. I was obsessed. Sondheim just like, you don't even know you're a Sondheim fan until it clicks, and then you're
yeah.
like, oh wait, he's every part of my everyday.
Because Sondheim, you don't know until it literally like smacks you in the face.
That's what it is.
Like it hits you like you've just run into a brick
Right,
wall.
you're just like casually
'Cause
like
that's what Into
picking
the
up
Woods
on
was for
cues
me.
here and there, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful poetry I've ever thought of.
So technically, that Company revival was technically my first
Sondheim
Sondheim
experience.
anything.
Whoa.
Listen, I know what you're thinking. Claire, you said Into the Woods was your first. It wasn't. Technically, it was in the sense of Sondheim that I have heard, like, all the way through, because I watched the film version of Into the Woods, like the OG, you know. But my first live experience was not Into the Woods. It was Company. I think I said that a few podcasts ago, maybe even with Jesse, that Into the Woods was my first. It was not. I lied. I'm so sorry. Listen, that New York trip was wild. It was wild. I don't remember anything from that trip. But for the record, Company was my first stage production that I have seen of any Sondheim musical. Okay.
I did see Company, and I was, when was that? 21, I guess, when I saw it.
I have no idea.
I want to say it was like the fall, or maybe
Okay.
like early
I've seen it 3 times.
spring
but I don't
last
remember.
year. Anyway, I was like, I didn't understand it, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to understand it, I don't think, until I'm a little older. But something clicked because I did use Being Alive in my senior showcase.
Ah, okay. You didn't understand it? Company?
I mean, I understood it, but I mean, like, for someone who is 22,
Okay. You were just kind of like, you're
I
living your
was
life.
like,
You're a single queen.
okay.
Like, rock on. Like, no
Like
need
that,
to worry
like,
about it.
Being Alive. So this is what I told Tyler this in the last podcast. I told him, I said, so my goal was singing Being Alive for my senior showcase because that was a huge milestone, right? Yeah. Graduating college as a BFA. And so I sang it, and my introduction was, so this is a song that I am moved to, and I really love this song. And it's also just a fun song to belt. And Raul Esparza slays the song always. And I was like, I am going to sing this song, and this will be the last time you hear me sing it until I am in my 30s.
Okay.
And I will not be touching it. I won't look at it. I'm not doing any character work with it. I will not look at the show, or at least that song,
Yeah.
until I'm 35, 40 area. Because the way I sing it as a graduating student of the class of 2022 is going to be so different.
Oh, completely
Because
different.
by the time I'm 35, I could be married with like 4 children.
Right.
And that just means something totally different.
100%.
Me with 4 children is funny. I'm glad that I chose that number because
Me too. I'm like, okay, she said 4.
my number is
You heard
0.
it here first.
But like, yeah. So
yeah, you
that's
never know
my
what
thing with-
life is so long.
Yeah. So that was my thing. And like at the time, like still, like I've never had a relationship that's like, or like I've never done like a romantic relationship or anything like that. So I also am like, I don't even know what that, and
Right, what would it
I've
feel
never
like?
really been actively seeking a partner.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's also nothing like what she's going through. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of what she's going through in this.
I think what
Switch-ish,
I loved
but-
about the Switch was she was like, it wasn't focused on her like needing love. Like it wasn't focused on her like actively desperate for love.
Right.
It was she was dating, but all of the relationships around her like put her in this weird funk. And I was like, this is art. Like this is society.
Mhm.
This is what a life. Like, oh, Company's so good. Company is
It's
so
a
good.
great. This was not my favorite. Company's not my favorite show
Yeah.
of Sondheim's. I
What's
think.
your favorite?
Well, I only know Into the Woods and Company.
Saying Into the Woods is your favorite musical is a very good one.
I really
very
like
good.
Into the Woods, but I think it's because Into the Woods is great regardless of what age you are,
Mhm.
because there's someone in the musical. And I say this every time because Into the Woods
Next.
is the only Sondheim show that I really know like as well
Yeah.
as I do. And I'm always like, I'm in my Little Red moving into Cinderella era. Like that's where
Yeah.
I am. Whereas like some of my friends are in their Cinderella moving into Baker's Wife era. Like you're like
okay,
moving
okay,
into
okay.
like these different. So you
That's
have
a
like
really
Jack,
good way to look
you
at
have
it.
Jack, and you have Little Red, and then you
Yeah.
have Cinderella and Rapunzel kind of, and then you have the princes, and then you have the Baker's Wife, and the witch.
Yeah.
And then you have the grandmother, and you have the giant, and all of those.
Yeah.
But like those are like the different timelines of your life.
And how you can relate. That's a
how
really
you
good way to
relate
think
to
of
it.
it.
Because you know, if you're a mother, you're gonna relate to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Baker's Wife.
Right. Or the wife.
Or-
'cause
yeah,
it's
yeah,
more
but,
of
like, I'm
a
not-
life struggle. Yeah.
That I don't relate
Right,
to that
so
at
you're
all.
like-
I relate to Little Red being like,
Right,
oh
the
my
fun,
god, there
spunky,
are
yes,
so many
rules.
things happening right now.
Yeah.
And
And learning and growing. She's all
Right.
about, right? Like
Mhm.
exciting, interesting, find
Yeah.
discovery, curiosity. Okay, another good Sondheim that you should do next is Sunday in the Park with George.
I know bits and pieces of Sunday in the Park.
Okay.
Like I know small pieces because we did something from
I used to
we
sing
did
Tell Me on a
something
Sunday.
we did something from Sunday in the Park, or was it Little Night Music? Maybe it was both.
They're opening at the Pantages on February 20th, and I will be at that show in LA. And I'm very excited to see because it's the first time I'm seeing it. I watched the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, and that's it. Is there a movie?
No, that was a revival with Jake and Annalie Ashford.
Wow. I saw the
Is there a movie?
revival, not me
Yeah.
thinking it's a movie. Well, it is a piece of art, let me tell you that. But I'm seeing it, they're going on tour. They're doing the tour, and it's opening at the Pantages.
The tour of that version.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
I will be there February 20th.
Sondheim's coming back. There's a lot. Well, Sondheim never left, but like Sondheim, like a lot of people are doing a lot of Sondheim recently.
Yeah. The song "Tell Me on a Sunday, Please" is an amazing audition song.
I don't know that one.
Amazing. If you're looking for an audition song, this is the song to do. I'm telling you. It's
I know
beautiful
Sunday,
piece.
obviously.
Yeah.
And
Tell me on a Sunday, please. It's
if
like more an
anyone,
emotional one.
okay. Anyway, last question.
Yes.
I ask everyone this. Actually,
Okay, I'm
there's
ready.
two.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you have a Patti LuPone impression of singing "I'll Drink to That"?
Yes. I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that. Okay, let's see. Here's to the ladies who lunch and they are blessed, sitting in their Afghans and having a da. What's the rest? Da, 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 da. A toast to the ignorant for you. Oh my God.
It's just like no concept. It's no words.
It's just no words. And but also, what did she say? Why? I literally am spiraling. Like, why do I not know this? A toast to the ignorant for you. Da, 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 da. Man, I can't even remember. I used to listen to it on repeat. Like, oh my God,
it's a good
I
one.
can't even remember. And I saw her twice do it, and I stood up. I was the first to give her a standing ovation. She wasn't even done, and I was standing up. I'll drink to that. That's probably the best.
Have you seen the little kid do it?
No.
I'll send you your TikTok.
Please send me the TikTok.
Okay, second to last question. No, this is the last question. That was my second to last question. What is your signature drink? Whether it's coffee or alcohol or whatever. If we're at a bar or wherever we're going.
Okay.
And you're like, I'm going to the restroom, just get me a drink. And I order you a drink that I'm like, this is Deanna.
Oh, tough.
And you would come back and be like, that's exactly what I wanted.
Ooh, okay, it's most likely going to be an Aperol Spritz. Very Italiana. Very Italian.
I'm not an Aperol Spritz person.
No. It's the perfect, like, refresher if you're starting a night. Like, if you're going to a bar and you're like, okay, let me get a cocktail. Let me get an Aperol Spritz. Because then you could take it anywhere. Like, if I have an old fashioned, I'm a whiskey girl also.
Me as well.
You are.
You're like the first person on here that's like, bourbon.
Yeah, I am whiskey girl.
I have a whole, there's a whole bottle of Bullet back there.
Oh, see, she knows what she's doing. I could just sip Fireball. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Oh my God.
That's
I'll have
how
to show
whiskey
you this
I
before
am.
you leave.
But like, yeah, I think I would do Aperol Spritz always to start, always a safe one for me. And then if we're like moving forward, everyone's like, okay, now we're going out. I'm definitely getting an old fashioned. And the bars always have really, really good, different, unique customizations to their old fashioned. So it's always worth it to try it. Whoa. Yeah. That's what I would say. What would you say? What's your answer to that?
I don't know. Mine changes all the time. Probably ranch water.
Ranch water? Is that tequila water?
Ranch water is technically, is it Topo Chico? Is that what it's called?
Oh,
it's
Topo
the
Chico.
mineral water
Yeah.
with tequila and lime.
Okay.
Or I'll do a bourbon and ginger ale or ginger beer.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
some
I love a bourbon and ginger. Bourbon and
bitters
ginger's good.
and do I put a lemon?
But like,
in it?
also, I
Or
haven't
orange?
been drinking much lately. I'll go to a bar and I'll be like, can you give me like a really good mocktail?
Mm-hmm.
Like, get me something that's like fruity, extra, with a little bit of spice. Like, I want like a good moment.
There's some mocktail
lately.
bars coming out here in the city.
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's no alcohol.
Okay, catch me there.
It's like spirit free, so you can.
Me and you we're nursers. We're not really drinkers unless it's social. We can have a good time. Like, yes.
Okay, drop your socials.
Oh, drop my socials. Okay, follow me at Deanna Giulietti on Instagram and TikTok. I have a morning talk show called Peep the Confidence, so you can follow at Peep the Confidence as well. Perfect. Look at that.
That's the whole podcast.
That's all. I'll drink to that.
All right, I hope you liked and enjoyed that podcast. If you want to follow me, I am at claire.mcconnell on Instagram. You can also find us on the Broadway Vlogs, at the Broadway Vlogs on Instagram, thebroadwayvlogs.com. There's more of these podcasts where you're listening to them right now on Spotify, Apple, all of the above. You know what? So there are literally, I kid you not, there are podcasts that still have not been posted from like January and December. Because I'm still slowly getting through all of them. Because we talk for an hour. I feel like an hour is a good, nice podcast. So it's a lot to edit. It is. But we have some of those coming up soon, so get ready for those. We have some other special guests coming soon, hopefully. Once we get all that scheduled, you'll hear from me again before the end of the year, I promise. That's the best I can promise you at this point. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Give us a 5-star. I keep saying us as if there's like more. It's just me. This is why these podcasts take forever to come out. It's just me. Insert audio of Megan Mullally singing "It's Me," like running down a staircase. If you know where that's from, you're awesome. Anyway, that's it. That's the podcast. I'll see you next episode. Bye.